made that set of ramps out of some old 2x6 scraps quite a number of years ago, and I use that to give myself a little more room underneath the truck when I'm getting ready to change the oil, which is what I'm getting ready to do this morning. So I got that project to do, and I'm also working on the van, but that's going to be another video, different video. So let me show you a couple, maybe give you a little bit of a hint of some of the stuff I do here. Call it maybe a pro tip. One of the things I do is I use a label maker. I've talked about this before. I use a label maker to put down the necessary information I need for when I'm doing oil changes. And so there's the last one I did. There's the oil I use. There's the filter number. But I also put on one down there in a drain plug size, so I know what that is. Because what ends up happening, of course, is with a number of different vehicles, you don't remember which size the drain plug is, and all three of my vehicles have a different size drain plug. So anyway, I'm going to do an oil change on this morning, and so I'll kind of bring you along as I go, and can't show you everything, but I'll tell you a little bit about the process. It's nothing real magical. It's pretty simple, and I like doing my own oil changes because I trust myself more than I trust some of the garages that might do it, and then they charge you an arm and a leg to do something that's actually pretty simple. So I'll be back to you again in a little bit. By the way, good morning. This is Saturday, June 14th, 2025, and it's a little bit before 10 o'clock in the morning, and I want to park the truck up there and just let it sit for at least 20-30 minutes to let the oil drain back down before I pull the oil. So I'll be back with you again when I got something to tell you about. Well, you saw I missed my pan, so now you know why I put cardboard down. My wife tends to give me a hard time about my cardboard collection, but this was a good example of why I do it. It's the way this pan's designed, the oil kind of comes shooting out of there. But I managed to catch it on the cardboard. I got a pretty nice driveway, and I don't want to oil spot it up. It's about 10 years old, and I've done a pretty good job about keeping it clean so far. Well, there's a big airplane of some kind going over. You can probably hear it. This truck takes 8 quarts of oil, and it's an 8-quart pan, so it gets pretty full. That extra 4.5 inches gives me quite a lot more room to work under here. Even though this is a big jacked up truck, it still gets a little tight. There's not a lot of room. And that 4.5 inches helps a lot. Let that sit and run for a little bit. I'll trim part of that out of there so that you don't have to listen, you don't have to sit there and watch the whole darn thing. It's kind of like watching paint dry. Okay, now we'll go after the filter, which is right here. Use my handy dandy little filter wrench here. It's a little hard to get on it where it's at. And I tend to tighten it pretty tight. And that might be an issue today. Another good reason to let the truck sit so that everything underneath here is not hot. This is the catalytic converter, one of them right above me here, and it's not hot at all, so I'm not going to burn myself. Well, this might be wanting to argue with me. Gotta get over here to pull at a better angle. There we go. We got it. Whoa. There, I managed to get some off the cardboard. Let's see if I can get it up right away. Slicking my hands with the oil on it. This oil filter is in a pretty good location. You can see it pretty well. But you always want to look and make sure that the gasket on the old filter came loose. Because every once in a while they'll stick to the surface up there and that'll cause you a leak when you try to put the new filter on. The other thing you want to do is take some clean oil and make sure to put some clean oil on that ring before you put the new filter on. Now I use a Napa Gold filter. I'm a little fussy about what kind of filters I use, and I use a Napa Gold filter. This particular one's the number 1372, but they're made by Wix, and they're a pretty high quality filter. Now some of the lower quality ones are not the best in the world. These things here will do the job. So now the filter's up there. Let's see if we can make sure to wipe any outside oil off of it, and then we'll tighten it a little bit. There we go, that should be good enough. Okay, and with that, we're finished down here. We'll start putting the fresh oil in it. And one thing about this truck is it's pretty tall, and adding that extra 4.5 inches makes it even taller, so I absolutely have to use my little step. And one thing I don't care for about this truck, there you see my oil, is the filler for the oil is just a little tiny cap. It's only that big. Look at that thing. And it's on top, right on top of one of the valve covers. And so it takes, got to use 2 funnels to even put the oil in it, and so that makes it a little bit of a challenge to do it. So it's going to take both hands, so I can't show you that part, but I figured I'd show you what I'm doing. It takes 8 quarts of oil. There's 5 in that, and I'll use one of those and then half of another one, or 3 quarts out of another one. But I'm going to have to shut you down while I do that part, so I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I put 7 quarts in there. And so I'm going to take the funnel out and put the little cap back on, which is right over there. And then I'll start it up, let it run for a little bit, and then I'll put the last quart in after it runs for a little bit. So be back shortly. Well, I shot a wrap up to that, and I wasn't really satisfied with the way it turned out. So this is actually a little bit later, and it's a take 2 on the end of that video. And I changed my oil about every 5,000 miles, and so this was about 25,500, and so I don't have to worry about it again now till about 30,500. And I mentioned I use a high-quality synthetic oil, and I use a high-quality filter, and I believe in that. And it costs a little bit more, but I think it's worth it, especially from a new truck. But all I had left was to clean up the mess, and of course, and put new labels. I showed you the label under the hood. and as to when the mileage and the date when I changed the oil. And then I also put another one on the top of the windshield on the inside to remind me when the next service is due. So it's all taken care of. It's all done now. And everything's back normal. Like I said, it's a little later in the afternoon. It's kind of steamy outside. That's why I'm here in the man cave. But figure, like I always do, tell you to take care of each other and love each other and be thankful for what you have. And thanks for taking the time to watch an old guy crawl around under a truck and do a little bit of routine maintenance to try to make sure it lasts, because that'll probably be the last truck I'll ever own. So I guess nothing more to do at this point, and to wish you all a good day, and thank you for stopping by and following the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. So right now, let me just tell you, peace out.